Evening, I'd like to call the meeting to order, this being Monday, February 10th, the Oxford School Committee. We have a few things on the agenda. The time is 6 o'clock. First, I would like to, as some people from home will notice, and here in our audience, we have a new face among us. And I would like to welcome Rob Rassicott to the school committee. It was a joint session last week with the Board of Selectmen. We had 7 total candidates for the open position here, and Rob has been selected by both the school committee and the Board of Selectmen to fulfill the term, which is a few months. It will give you a feel. It will be a slight feel, but it will give you a feel of some of the work that we do. This, I am going to hold the vote for a secretary until we have a full committee. I just think that that's fair. So if a secretary needs to step in for any reason tonight, I will do that. So if you could just put that on the record, Jess, okay, that we're gonna hold that. So welcome, Rob.
Thank you.
And I hope that you get to meet everyone in these buildings that you don't already know, of course, because you are in and out of the buildings, which is very welcome by all of us. To start off this evening, we will have minutes of January 27th, please. These minutes would be from Mrs. Ravelli and I. I don't know if we want to hold these. I'll make it your call.
Well, I think Mr. Kuhn was absent. Well, we can't vote them. It's only 2 of us. So we'll have to hold them.
All right, we're going to hold the meeting minutes until our next meeting. I will now pass the floor over to our business manager for the negotiation on the FREC bids.
Thank you very much. Just
welcome.
as a reminder to the committee, we did want to get the committee's approval before we go out to bid with the French River Education Cooperative for such items as athletics, food service, school supplies, office supplies, some computer and technology supplies. In the past, the approval has come in after the bids have already been put out there, but we were already kind of committed to doing that at that point in time, so it just makes sense to give the approval ahead of time.
Okay.
If there are any bids that are completely way off base, I'm sure the entire FREC group will say no, thank you, to that particular bid.
Okay. Any questions from the committee?
Not this time.
All right.
Ma'am.
All right, so just need a vote from the committee, I think.
Okay. So could I have a motion or entertain a motion for the approval for our business manager to go forward and negotiate?
So moved.
Thank you. Any questions? Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. 3 affirmative, 2 absent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Clara Barton, come on up, Mr. Baroni. All alone? Unless, you know what, Mrs. Parmalee, come on up. This would be a good time to have you both together. And Mr. Yvonne, sure.
Mike's
Anybody
on.
else want to come up? No.
Mike's on.
Absolutely. We have another new face this evening. We welcome Mrs. Parmalee to the Chafee School. You come from Dudley Charlton, and I'll let you say a few words about your background and history. I will say I served on the committee to select the principal to replace Mr. Yvonne, with Mr. Yvonne, and a few teachers and a couple of parents. It was a very thoughtful, once again, very thoughtful committee. Whenever we have a search, I think that it brings out people who really care about what is happening in our buildings, so it was a pleasure for me to serve on that. And you did impress us, obviously. It was a very easy, I think, choice, because you were right at the top of the game, right from almost from the get-go. So we thank you very much, and it is a pleasure having you here. I think you will find that this district is, it's unique in some ways, and in many ways, it's just like any other district. Working with Mr. Baroni and with Mr. Yvonne kind of, guiding you through, you will come to find that the collaboration and the efforts, along with the superintendent and this board, will be one that will work very hard for the better of all of us, so, and especially the kids. So welcome, and I'll give you a moment to fill us in on your background.
All right, thank you very much.
You're
Very
welcome.
honored to be part of the Oxford district, the school district, and I'm very happy my colleagues are here on both sides of me. I have been teaching before this for close to 30 years, about 29 years, 22 in Dudley Charlton. My background has been K through 3 predominantly. I really have a heart for special ed concerns, children that are in the ELL. I've piloted that for Dudley Charlton as far as inclusion originally many, many years ago. I'm all about community involvement, trying to get parents involved, being able to advocate for children, and so every decision that will be made at Chafee will be for the children and what's best for them. So, but I'm honored to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Welcome. Thank you. Mr. Barone, I'll let you begin with your improvement plan update.
Okay, well, thank you, everybody. It's nice to be here. I want to congratulate Mr. Rassicot and welcome him to the school board, and also Ms. Palmley. Congratulations and welcome. So I'll take you through the school improvement plan for Clara Barton. We have 4 goals that we established this year. Goal number 1 was to increase performance levels in ELA for grades 3 and 4. One of the things we did this year, which was new to the building, was establish building-based data team. The data team consists of approximately 7 different staff members, grade 3 and 4 special ed. And the data team meets routinely every month, and we look, the initial focus of the data team was to concentrate and tear through the MCAS data from last year, and to look at pros and cons and make suggestions to and recommendations to staff, which they did. This year, we are using multiple forms of data with our literacy folks, our 1.5 folks, and we're using that data to provide specific tiered support to our students. We've seen great success in ELA so far this year. Our ELA scores for grade 3, MAP scores this year in the fall, as far as the students being proficient and advanced, 36% came in the fall scored proficient advanced, and most recently 57% scored proficient and advanced in the winter. And for grade 4, 47% of the students in the fall scored proficient and advanced, and 60% of the students scored proficient or advanced for grade 4. So, and I look to the literacy folks to give a lot of the credit in terms of the support that they provide every single day. And we're constantly meeting with together as a team, the literacy folks and myself, to update students that need support, and also remove students that are progressing and making and working toward proficiency as far as removing them from the supports. This year, we're in the process of implementing the Fontes and Pinnell intervention program. It's a level literacy intervention program. All our staff has been trained, and we're just about ready to roll that out. So that should be an additional support system for Tier 2 and Tier 3 students in the area of ELA. We are in, I believe, our 3rd year of John Collins' writing program, and we're using that across the curriculum with fidelity in all classes, and we're seeing great success with that as well. This year, one of the new things that we developed at the school was an after-school ELA computer camp, which meets every Monday. It's staffed by 2 teachers, and it's designed to provide support in the area of ELA through computer-based sites to students that want to participate. We continue with our grade level morning work in ELA, which is designed to provide support in specific skill areas, and also provides writing prompts for students. We developed a school-wide editing program, which is designed to improve the conventions of writing for students. We have, and we also have before and after school tutoring by teachers on a weekly basis that provide support to students that are in need. We have a homework club that we offer on Thursdays to students in the area of ELA. Students are welcome to stay after school every Thursday for an hour. We have 2 teachers that provide support for that. We just began our MCAS packets about 3 weeks ago that we send home weekly to secure that homeschool connection. The packets right now are designed for ELA support and will soon shift to math support as soon as we get closer to the May MCAS date. We continue with our Title I support. We've kind of restructured the Title I support this year a little bit so that we are doing more push in as far as pull out. And we also have developed a very aggressive after-school program at the school that provides and promotes support for students in the area of curriculum, health, and also fun as well. Study Island is another big component to the improvement for students in the area of ELA. One of the new things that we did this year was, and it wasn't my idea, but it was a great idea, we provide the username and passwords to students. We sent those home so they have those on a card that they can use and access when they are home. So instead of trying to draw up from memory what the username and password is, they have that there. We also have those cards available in 2 different locations, the library and another location in the building as well. And we continue to use the test results from MAP and DIBELS to provide support and interventions to help improve instruction. That's goal number 1. Goal number 2, again, to increase levels of support, performance levels in grades 3 and 4 for math. Again, the data team helps and supports and promotes suggestions and recommendations in the area of math for our grades 3 and 4. This year, as you all know, we're all excited about the implementation of the new Envision Math program. We are using that with fidelity across both grade levels in all classrooms, and teachers are beginning to feel more and more comfortable with that program every single day. Personally, I really like the program. It's much more parent-friendly, and the kids seem to be enjoying it as well. We continue with our morning math program several days a week before school. We also have developed an after-school math computer camp that is available for students on Monday, along with the ELA computer camp. We're piloting something new this year, what we call, math warm-up activities. Some of the teachers met during the winter and they developed what we consider warm-up activities, fun, quick 10-minute activities designed to improve basic skills of students in the area of math. The establishment of common grade level assessments for both ELA and math we're hoping will help to improve instruction and ultimately result in positive outcomes for math scores. And we will be sending home, our ELA MCAS packets will be shifting over to math packets very soon as well. Again, the after-school program support math and Title I support is there for our students who are in need. Goal number 3, involve and inform parents about school and community. We have clearly an established group of volunteers in the school that support the library on a daily basis, a teacher station that we have on a daily basis, the Books and Beyond reading program that we have going on right now. We have parents in the building on a regular basis providing support in the classrooms for a number of different classrooms on a daily basis. And we continue to have school-wide theme and holiday-based related events that we invite parents in to participate and also to volunteer. For example, we have a 100th Day celebration coming up on Wednesday, and we will probably have about 15 to 25 different parents in to help support the program that we have going on for that particular day. I continue with my walk and talk on a monthly basis to communicate with parents about concerns, outreach to them about what's going on and what they'd like to see in the building. We continue to have monthly or sometimes bi-monthly events at night for families to support the partnership between the school and the home. The nights we've had so far this year are movie night, Scrabble night, Mad Science Night. We just had a data and literacy night last week. We've had an MCAS curriculum night. We've offered the Envision Math Night. We've had a game night, and I ran a Saturday rocket camp on about 2 months ago, which was very successful. We've had a walk to school day where parents have come, which was very successful, and we've got a lot of ideas coming up in the next few months. We continue with our weekly outreach at Orchard Hill, where a group of staff and myself, about 7 of us, go up there and we provide tutoring for students. We're going to be holding a parent night at the community center by sometime around the end of this month or early next month, to bring the information to the parents at Orchard Hill that they might be missing by not coming to some of these events here. So we're going to go up there and we're going to talk to them about the things that are important and the things that are going on at the Clara Barton School. We continue to have ongoing school-wide fundraisers on a monthly basis to support the community and more. We've done food drive, clothing drives, Toys for Tots drives, shoe drives, and other things as well. We continue our work with the seniors through the community center, through a couple different programs that we offer, and we're always looking for new ways to reach out into the community. Goal number 4 of attendance, to improve student attendance this year. We have ongoing information that's provided to parents regarding the importance of attendance through newsletters, website, phone calls, family gatherings at school. Every opportunity that we have to communicate the importance and the value that we place on student attendance, we take advantage of. This year, I've reached out to the community resource officer on a couple occasions to help support the attendance of certain students and families, or reach out to the family regarding student attendance. I've been working with the district social worker this year with a few families where we've had some issues in terms of attendance. And most recently, I've established a school clinical team at the school, which consists of the district behaviorist, the district social worker, myself, the guidance counselor at my building, and several other specialized people in the building. And the goal of that committee is to reach out not only to students in need of behavioral, academic, emotional, and economical support, but also to try to provide some support and assistance to the families as well. So this is something new that I'm really looking forward to. We recognize student attendance through our morning announcements, bulletin boards, and different awards that we have going on in the building. And again, this is a joint effort by teachers and myself through many, many different mediums of communication. So with that said, I just want to take a minute to thank the entire Barton staff for all their hard work and effort. Without them, we wouldn't be where we are today, and I think we've made a lot of progress over the last 3 years plus, and we're heading in the right direction, but there still is work to be done. So I want to thank them.
Very good, thank you very much. Any questions from the committee?
Yeah, who wants to go first? Me? My first meeting?
Absolutely. We let everyone speak.
Maybe I'm not sure I want to. No, I'm just kidding. Mr. Barone, thank you very much for that presentation. I don't know if everybody's aware, I've probably, of all the schools in the district, I've been in your school the most, and
You have?
I have. When you don't know it. At night when no one's, no, just kidding. That's dangerous. What I've seen personally, being at your school, I know I've never met a principal more dedicated to his program and to the respect that he has for the school and the care for the kids. I live near the school and I drive by frequently going home or leaving home. And on Sundays, frequently on Sundays, I see your truck there. You're the only one there, and I know you're working. And I know you decorate the school personally. I know you plant flowers, you lay mulch, you rake the leaves, you are involved. I mean, in those, it's all about the kids and so, but it's all about the pride in your school, and that contributes to it. But I know how dedicated you are to the program, and I've been very impressed with it. I just wanted to share that with you. I guess just, I've got a lot to learn, so these questions might sound a little dumb at times, but just help me walk through it.
Go ahead.
So you've had MAP scores in reading recently? When-
Correct.
Those, how long ago, when was that, I guess? When were
The
the last
middle
readings?
of January.
Middle of January.
Yeah,
And the MCAS is in May,
March and May,
March and May.
correct. ELA is in March.
ELA is in March.
Correct.
And then May. Okay. So you kind of know, you have a good measure of where you are now, and your goal, you know what you want to try to achieve. And then is there DIBELS tests that you've done recently?
That is correct. We dibble tested in the fall in grade 3. 51% of the students scored proficient, and recently in the winter, 55% of the students scored proficient in grade 3. In grade 4, we had 61% proficiency in the fall versus 66% most recently in the winter.
Okay.
So by all indications, we're heading in the right direction.
You seem, that was my point. I guess you have some data points now, and you know what your data points are according to goal 1 of where you need to be. The only one that seems kind of a challenge is the 80% for grade 3.
I
But,
agree.
You know, no, it's.
No, I agree.
But I think you're going in the right direction, you know, and it's, that could be a challenge, and we certainly all hope that you can achieve that. So, I mean, you're on the right track, and that looks good. I guess my question then leads to goal 2, is, have there been maps? I didn't get the data on the maps percentages for 3rd and 4th grade for math. Have those tests been out? Did you do those in January as well? I didn't hear you say those, I guess, and I didn't see them on the
The
packet.
grade 3 math map scores in the fall, 33% of the students scored proficient or advanced, and in the winter, 46%. And in grade 4, we had 35% of the students scored proficient and advanced, and that was reduced to most recently 26%, so we went down there.
Okay. So there's a challenge for you.
Attendance figures are up as well. We have, over the course of the last 5 months, we're looking at approximately, on a given day, 96.4% of the students are in the building.
That's a big difference.
96.4.
Correct, on average.
'Cause
That's
that
an
was-
average of the last 5 months.
That's awesome. That was going to be a question when I got to goal 4, so thank you. Thanks. Okay. So goal 2 is going to be a challenge, but.
Correct, and thinking
We're-
about,
We're all aware of it, and you're doing the right things. You know, I'm not saying that you're not.
oh, no, but in thinking and looking at the grade 4 map dip score, the math dip score for grade 4, I can only think that some of that has to do with the implementation of the new program, along with the possibility that the scope and sequence of the test possibly did not line up with where they are at that present time.
I heard there'd been a math curriculum change, so that
Yep.
certainly would affect that. That makes sense. Okay, thanks for explaining that. And then I just need to say to close up, goal 3, I've been on the Barton website. I have never seen a school calendar full every night of the week. You have unbelievable amount of effort put into to get parents and
Thank you.
community involved
Thank
with
you.
your school, and I
We have a lot going
can't. This, if you keep it up, this has got to pay off. I can't see how it wouldn't. Particularly with your outreach programs to people that might not be as involved as they should be as other communities in the town of Oxford, so. Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you for
That's
the
all I have.
kind words. I can only say that it's a team effort. Thank you.
That's, since you mentioned it, if there's anything that you need from me on the school committee, please don't ever hesitate to ask.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Just have a quick question. When do you go up to Orchard Hill?
Every Wednesday.
It's still Wednesdays?
yep.
Okay. And what time?
4 to 5.
And there was one The after-school math and computer camp,
Yes.
about how many students attend?
We're in our second session right now. I think the first session, we had approximately 30 students, and I think we're at that number right now for the second session as
Good,
well.
okay.
Quite honestly, on any given day after school, we probably have 100 kids
After school?
participating in the variety of after-school programs that we have going on.
Oh, that's great.
Something new that's going to start at the end of this month, I'm really happy about, is we're offering Spanish lessons on
Really?
Tuesdays, yes, so I'm excited to see how that's going to go.
That's excellent. And that will be an after-school event?
That will be an after-school program as well.
Very
Yeah.
good, that's great. Yeah, you do have a very, very busy school, and everything I've ever heard has always been you're a top-notch principal, so
Glad I came tonight.
we're glad you're here too. So thank you, and to your staff for the good work, really, thank you very much. Mrs. Ravelli, do you have anything?
No, my question's been asked.
Okay, all right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Mrs.
Thank you.
Parmalee,
Okay.
floor is yours.
All righty. Well, anything that we're covering, Mr. Yvonne and his staff, that was his staff, our shared staff, was all done before I came. So their hard work is a tribute to him. I'm just kind of coming in now, but he's going to assist me with any questions.
Okay.
And I'm thrilled to take them from this step forward. So looking at goal 1, which was to increase levels of student performance in reading, the first step was to analyze our MCAS map and DIBEL scores and to evaluate the curriculum, and that was done. Also staff training on the access and interpretation of that data, which was also done at a staff meeting. One of the things that was implemented was the Rock to Read, giving them an instruction block. And the beauty of that is every time those map and DIBEL results come out, those groups are reassessed and regrouped so that they are most effective for the students who need it at that time. Learning walks were implemented, had the first set done at the end of last year, scheduled with the DSAC. Also implementing the summer reading program is going to be happening this summer. And developing a building data team. I know that's been done, and they're meeting monthly. Looking at student performance in math for goal 2. Kind of following the same routine as far as analyzing the data, being able to give the staff training to be able to interpret that data. That's all been done. Purchasing the materials to support the instruction for Common Core of the math standards. That began at the beginning of the year. Assuming with the Envision Math, which it's been nice to go into the classroom and see that implemented, watching the teachers use their technology. Beautiful to see those smart boards and boards being used and watching the children really interacting and learning using the technology. So that was really great for me to see coming in. Implementing a summer math program, as you can see, working with teachers July through August by coming up, similar to what what your staff has done, by coming in and coming up with a problem of a day, and developing a building data team again for math, and again meeting monthly on a regular basis. Staff 3 was building the school-home community partnership, involving students in community service projects, which has been ongoing, presenting curriculum nights or days for parents and families with an emphasis on the new Envision program. Also, planning the Literacy Week, which we have just finished up. I think we have one more day to go due to the snow day, which has been fantastic. So a shout out to Stacy Levine and Kristen Palakis, who did an outstanding job watching those students come in, being able to use the skills that they've been learning, and being able to pull the family into that and really interact with the students and the staff. We had a great turnout. Introducing the Chafee podcast. And that is all Mr. Yvonne, and I'm excited to be able to learn how to do that. And that was what really caught my attention at Chafee. That is a very unique aspect, and it really is a great way to connect with the community and to feel like that they have a partnership. And maintaining up-to-date websites for schools and teachers, which is also done on a regular basis. And then goal 4, monitoring and improving student attendance. Let's see, one of the action steps was to create a building attendance committee, which it has been created, and it's met up to 2 times at this point, reviewing the student attendance quarterly at the request of the teachers. And I know that they have met first quarter, they're going to be meeting again second quarter, and then also displaying the data display in the classroom. And as I'm looking here for progress as of right now, there has been a letter that's been drafted to address absences up to 9, when they get to about 9 days absent and what's going to happen, and being able to kind of relook at that again and be able to send those out the second half of the year.
Right. Thank you very much. Any questions?
No, you can go first, go right
Come
ahead.
on.
No, it's okay.
Okay, Norm.
Go ahead, Mr. Escott.
Come on, Mr. Esco. Jump right in.
Hi, I guess you should welcome me. You've been here longer
Yes.
than me, right? No.
2 whole weeks. Welcome.
Welcome to each other.
Welcome.
I guess my biggest question is, looking at the packages, is that, do you have some data, specific data on Dibbles and MAP scores in the fall versus what's recently been done as they progress towards your overall goal?
I do, I'm going to defer. Since I've only been the
Okay,
principal for
so-
2 weeks, I'm going to let him take it.
Just a couple
Yes,
of
we
data
do.
points to
We don't
see
have the data
things are working,
in
that
the
you're doing.
package, but
Just-
we can give
We
you-
want to know all our efforts are
Sure.
working, and find out why they're not.
Before you answer, Mr. Yvonne, could you just slide the mic over to you, just to make sure that we can hear you?
The specific data wasn't in the packet. But if you take a look at our data wall when you come into the building over by
okay.
the gymnasium, it's posted there for everyone to see. Teachers go by and see that data at least once a week when they go to the gym. It's a way of keeping that in the forefront as we're moving forward. In the fall, for each of our grade levels, between 60 and 70% of our students were at or above benchmark on both the MAP and the Dibbles, their composite score and their overall score. And we stayed relatively flat into the winter testing period, so that much higher than last year's beginning scores, which are exciting. And we expect that those scores will go up as we move through the spring.
I'm sorry to interrupt, are those scores greater than 10% of what the fall 2013 was then? Do you know off the top of your head?
Off the
or-
top of my head, I will,
Which is
off
your
off the
goal?
top of my head, I'm going to say yes.
Okay, so-
That
okay.
beginning scores were.
So
What we
that's-
want to do is have our spring scores to be 10% greater than the scores that happened at the beginning of this school year. So we're on our way.
Okay, you're on your way, okay.
They're
I see
on
what
their
you
way.
mean. Right, that's the spring.
Our math scores are not as good. That's typical across the district and I think across the state. We had around 50% of our students scoring at or above benchmark in math, both at the beginning of the school year and now. And I agree with Mr. Barone. I think a piece of that is the implementation of the new mathematics series. The teachers are getting into that program as we're working through. And the piece of it may be, I think we talked about this last week, that the scope and sequence of the math program versus the expectations of the MAP testing may not be an exact match, which is one of the reasons that MAP doesn't use their winter scores as a benchmarking score. They use the beginning of the school year, end of the school year, and you can go from spring to spring, fall to spring, or spring to fall, so that you get a full year's worth of instruction. So then it doesn't matter when you did what during the school year. It's all been done by the time they get to the
So
end
if
of
I'm
the
to
school year.
understand this correctly, the people that force a change in curriculum on you do not change the test to match with the curriculum.
The test
They
is-
still
the-
give you the whole test?
The MAP test isn't from the state of Massachusetts. That's from a company called NWEA, Northwest Education Associates, I believe. And their test is based in the Common Core standards and will test students' ability across the frameworks for each grade level across a year. Even within the Common Core standards, it's kind of up to the district to decide when during a school year we're going to address certain skills. And it may be different from one
Right.
district to another as
Okay.
long as we hit that
Okay.
during the school year.
Okay. Well, I guess I just would like to offer whatever I can do for you. We're both new at this, and I really haven't been in the Chafee School, and I'd certainly like to get more involved
We'd
as a
love to have
volunteer,
you.
come in as a reader if you do that, even though I'm not a parent, and see the school sometime and get to look at your wall, your data wall, and so on, and just see what's going on. So I guess I'll get in touch sometime. We can do that. So, thank you.
Mr. Yvonne, how is the Envision being received by the students?
The rollout has gone very well. The teachers have embraced the program and are using it, I think, to its full effectiveness. There's pieces that they're getting used to because it's different
Sure.
than what they had in the past. They've worked out, I don't want to say glitches, they've worked out any issues they may have had with the technology piece. Saying, okay, where do I find this? Oh, now I know. And have been very supportive of one another to make sure that that's effective and working for us. And what we're seeing is that we're not running as wide as we used to with the curriculum. The old saying is, a mile wide and an inch deep.
Yeah.
We're much less than a mile wide, and we're going a lot deeper, so that the students are spending more time with the skills that they need to work on, and working towards mastery of those skills and understanding of the concepts than they were in the past, where we were spiraling through curriculum, touching on it, going away, coming back, touching on it again, going away, coming back, touching on it again.
That makes me busy.
Yeah, but really working at understanding those basic addition skills, those basic math skills, those basic number concept skills, before moving on to the next skill that needs to
Yeah,
build up onto it.
that's good. This is just slightly off track. Podcasts,
Yes.
the rest of the buildings?
I will be glad to set up the trainings. I know Mrs. Parmalee has already asked. It's not a hard thing to do. and
Okay.
we can absolutely
I
get.
hope that they will participate because it is a great method to communicate. And how is attendance?
Our attendance at Chafee has typically been similar to Barton, in the high 90% each year. We've had a few days where weather has caused an issue, and the kids have not come in because parents, with a delay day and a couple of those snow days, and a few bouts of strep throat that went through the building. But for the most part, our average attendance is in the high 90s.
Good, okay.
And the children that we'd sent the 9-day letter out to were very few.
Very few, good.
We have a few kids with more than 9 days absences, but there's a solid and understandable reason, whether it was traumatic injury or chronic illness for that absence, and it didn't make sense to send letters to those parents saying, we've already talked about this, we know your child it has issues that we're dealing with, and we're dealing with them.
Sure, okay. Mrs. Ravelli, do you have anything?
Learning walks, it says that you had one set for the end of last school year. How many have you completed this year?
We're waiting for the scheduling with DESE. That's been
Okay.
done
So you're
through
at a point
through
where they're
DSAC.
still training.
And I believe DSAC has scheduled them through the middle school and the high school at this point for this year. So
And what is the expectation
we hope
for?
to do at least, one more with the DSAC people before the end of this school year, and continue training more faculty and staff to be involved.
What is the expectation, though? Do we need a certain number of teachers trained before we can start to conduct these without DSAC?
If we want to conduct it without DSAC, we'd want the majority of our teachers trained,
Right, so,
because that would be the majority of the teachers involved.
right, so how many do we have trained now, and what,
We've
Is
got,
that
it
plan?
at Chafee, we've
you
got,
can let him chime in.
I
or
believe it's
her.
5 teachers trained. So-
Everybody wants to chime in, so if you want them to
We
chime
don't,
in.
we don't
they-
have even a full grade level trained.
You don't,
Across the district, there's only 75.
across the district, there's only 75 training. And what do we, what?
I thought that was a good amount in a year.
Okay. And how many are we expecting by the end of this year?
Well, if we do just one more setting, would be about 5 or 6 more from Chafee, and I don't know the rest of the district.
That was answered. Absences, I know you just talked about it, but it said to reduce the number of students missing 18 or more days. So if we're halfway through the year, how many do we have missing, 18 or more days last year, and how many are we looking?
Off the top of my head, I could not give you a specific number. I need to go look
Okay.
at iPads to grab that.
Yeah, I would just like, I understand that there is some, I would say, other than the excused or those that you're excusing, because that to me was pretty shocking when I heard the absences being an issue at this young of an age.
Well, if you think about it, a good number of our families, we're on a second round of families at this point, where we've got a lot of kids coming into kindergarten, where this is the first child in the family coming through. I was the first child. I got sent to school no matter what. But sometimes, a sniffle, I'm keeping my kid home, I'm not sure, and by the time you get to the third kid, are you bleeding, are you throwing up? No, go to school. So we're working with families on addressing those issues and getting, yeah, it's okay to send them if they're tired. It's okay to send them if, and we'll call you if there's an issue with them not being well.
That was it.
I guess I had one more question.
Go
on
right ahead.
attendance, sorry.
Yeah,
I-
that's
do you-
all right.
Do you notice a cyclic behavior to attendance? Have you ever seen that? A cyclic behavior to attendance? Does there seem to be a certain time of year where kids are more absent than others? Does it follow the flu season? I mean, what, is it,
Well, there are
I'm just
certain-
curious if you've ever
there are
seen that.
certain days that children tend to be out more. For example, half
Half
days,
days.
Yeah.
we tend
You
to lose
just,
kids
they
on
don't
half
go in
days.
at all?
Days before holidays or vacations.
Okay,
um,
okay, that makes
Mondays
sense.
after vacations, Mondays in general, I mean,
Just,
there are
okay,
certain days.
that makes
Looking like
sense.
next Thursday,
That-
this
that
Thursday's
makes
not gonna be such a good day either,
Don't tell the superintendent that.
for any of us. Foot of snow, sorry, foot of snow.
Anything else?
No, ma'am.
Thank you very much, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Nice job. Now we will have a curriculum update from Mrs. Daly.
Is that this one?
You're alone.
Is that this one?
The big one?
I don't know.
I'm assuming.
Yes.
They won't come with me.
No one will come with you?
No, I have to be by myself.
Sorry. That's okay.
Mrs. Daly, you can tell us what's happening in our curriculum status in all of the buildings, please.
Certainly, perhaps a little repetitive. Some of the topics that I addressed in my report have been either spoken this evening or perhaps last week or last school committee. The first initiative we've worked, or the first goal, I guess, is to increase the academic success for all students. One initiative we've spent a substantial amount of time working with is establishing first a district data team made up of administrators from each of the buildings, as well as teachers, Mr. Himmelberger, myself, and other central office staff have participated. We meet on a monthly basis to discuss scores of students throughout the district and initiatives or avenues in which to correct some of our weaknesses or deficiencies. Many teachers as well as administrators attended the Foundations of Data Literacy last summer training on how to drill down on some of our scores and get to the root cause of some of the problems. So we're working with that. This year we developed building-based data teams where they're actually focusing on initiatives and skills right in their own buildings. Many of the members of the district data team are leaders in their buildings for this initiative. Each building has a data wall, or will have a data wall in the very near future. The team will identify a focus, make everybody in the building aware of it, and post the data to show our progress in that task. At the start of this school year, we trained all of our teachers. The first 2 days prior to the start of school, we had professional development. We trained everyone in the Keys to Literacy Comprehension strand. Though we had trained about 15 people last year on Saturdays, those teachers attended the vocabulary strand of Keys to Literacy at the start of this school year. We've also trained coaches from each of the buildings who went out. They received the training from Keys to Literacy to come back into the district and support their colleagues in the building. We've had some coaching days throughout the district where the consultants from Keys to Literacy has come in to give feedback to our teachers on the strategies that they're using in their classrooms and to fine-tune that craft. The second goal is to increase parental involvement and expand community outreach. We've had a couple of Envision Math Nights to train the parents on how to use the facets at home from the Envision Math program. It's brand new to our district, and it has an awful lot of online materials for the students as well as parents. At our math night, we had a presentation first, and then we went into the media center. Parents were given student username and password to make sure that they could support, or we supported them to make sure they could access. The textbook is online, so they can go over anything that a child has done during the day with the actual textbook right there online. They can get homework assignments that may have been misplaced or forgotten or deliberately lost or whatever. They're available to them. There are activities, enrichment type programs that they can work on to actually understand what their child is doing in the class, but also support their math skills, practice at home. MAP this year, NWEA, I think you heard Mr. Yvonne talk about, has kind of teamed up with Study Island and has created, based on student scores on MAP, individual student scores, they have created a learning path for each individual student. Those students can then go home. When they're at home, they can work on skills or work on activities that will improve the skills in certain areas that NWEA has deemed necessary. That has been pretty successful. We sent out notes after the first test session to remind the parents that this was available to them, but also to give usernames and passwords and directions on how to access that material. We're trying something new this year at the middle school. We're trying our first ebook in grade 6. The books are available in school for schoolwork, but also students now know how to find the ebook on our website at home. They can get it on their iPad or computer or telephone, if you could see the font that size. And that's worked pretty well thus far. I wouldn't be able to, but that's worked pretty well this far for the students there. They're liking that technology piece, a little different than a regular novel, something new. And the last goal, the third goal, is to increase the effectiveness of teaching. Quite a bit has happened here. We continue to work on curriculum maps for all grade levels, for every subject. Our goal is to be done by the start of next school year, September 1st, 2014. Thus far, we've done, I think, close to 600 hours since July 1st of teachers working together, collaborating to create not only the curriculum map itself, but also the common assessment that would go with that. The next item on my list is common assessments. A common assessment is it's a source of data where every child who takes a certain course will have the exact same test. Teachers will gather the data and be able to identify which standards they've met in their teaching, which teachers may not have met them as well as they could have or should have, and perhaps why. Again, data teams will be using this data. These will also be part of their curriculum maps. Next one was the implementation of the Envision Math program, and I think everybody's spoken about that. That's a program we rolled out K through 6. Lots of online support, boards and smart boards are being used pretty much on a daily basis for this program. It's new. I think our pacing needs to improve a little bit, but that should improve with our second year. Teachers are feeling their way through it and understanding the program themselves. So far, it's been a pretty positive rollout. The next one is instructional rounds. Instructional rounds are another DSAC initiative that has trained administrators to visit schools other than their own, to visit classrooms to determine what learning targets are and the success criteria that is identified in each lesson that's being delivered during our visits. We've held one thus far in actually 2 levels. We've visited all of the schools, but it was in 2 days. So those will continue. Learning walks, like I said before, we've had about 75 people trained thus far. Each session trains about 12 people, and then 5 or 6 would visit a classroom or several classrooms in a building each day. The middle school has truly embraced this and have set up kind of their own team. There are 2 coaches in the building that do the organizing, do the scheduling, and have picked the days that we've provided the subs for. So on a learning walk, you visit classrooms and you're looking for specific strategies or criteria. It's non-evaluatory, it's just really data collecting activity. The next one is model curriculum units. We've piloted a few of those. DESC is continually releasing units that they have deemed models, what they would like all of our units at some point to look like, something for us to follow as a template. Currently, we have 2 second-grade teachers piloting a Tommy DePaula author study, and we have Cynthia Rylant being piloted at Clara Barton into 3rd-grade classrooms. We're also looking to expand to do a few more of those, just so teachers really understand what their unit should look like and all that it will entail. They include CPERS, which are the new testing assessment that is curriculum embedded type of assessment, so it's not always a paper and pencil test to determine mastery. The last one on this page is lesson study, and this is a DSAC initiative where teachers of a certain grade level and subject work together to create, under DSAC's direction, a math class, a high-level, high-rigor math class. One teacher of the group demonstrates the lesson with real students while everybody else watches, and feedback is provided and how lessons would be improved. This is a good thing for teachers so that they can see what the lesson that they created or they helped create really looks like when it's delivered. Helps them understand some of the questions that students would be asking and how teachers should be answering them. I think that's my last initiative for that one.
Very good, thank you very much. Any questions, comments from the committee?
Welcome aboard.
Throwing me right in,
Of course.
trial by
Start on the
fire.
right and go left.
Oh, that makes sense.
Doesn't that make sense? There you go.
This is a crazy idea. I don't know if I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Go ahead.
The data walls. I've seen them at Clara Barton and at the middle school. I haven't been to Chafee's yet, or the high schools. I guess it's a silly question, but who are they for?
Everybody. They're
Okay.
reminders for teachers, they're reminders for administrators, they're
Administrators.
reminders for students.
So the students, they're kind of for the students as well?
It should be a goal for
Okay.
them to help improve, to contribute to
So
improving
We
that
have, so
initiative.
we're in competition, right?
We certainly are,
We're in competition in this state amongst districts
absolutely.
for money, for performance. We have sports, right? We compete against. Is there anything against us posting other schools' data walls with our data walls and showing the kids the competition amongst the schools and saying to the kids, let's beat so-and-so this year in our MCAS testing? Is this a ridiculous idea?
No.
Or is there something inappropriate about it? Is
No.
it-
All of that information.
Would the kids get involved with it if we treated it almost like a healthy, respectful competition between schools?
We beat them in basketball, or in football.
Can we beat them in
baseball. Can
MCAS
we
this
beat them
year?
in
Let's go.
MCAS?
Let's have a
Can't beat
pep
them in
rally.
football, so.
Can we fill up the gym before the MCAS for a pep rally? We're gonna beat so-and-so this year. Let's go. Am I crazy? Maybe I'm crazy, but I just,
I don't know you well enough to answer
interesting.
that question.
Is it legal?
It is legal, I would think. Unfortunately, I don't think that data comes out quick enough
Well,
for
we have all-
students.
Sorry,
You know what
I'm
I'm
sorry.
saying? We don't get our data really until next September.
So we don't have last year's data.
We do have last year's data.
So
Yes, we
we
do
could
have
say,
last year's.
last year, they beat us. Let's get them this year.
Certainly we could.
Mr. Himmelberger?
It's a very good concept that you raise, and in fact, I did throw that challenge to this year's sophomores, because they are the ones who will be taking their competency determination with the MCAS this spring. And our scores have not risen as fast as other districts. And so we have addressed that in many ways, certainly around adding more depth and breadth to our curriculum offerings, adding more AP courses, finding other opportunities for students to increase their learning in a variety of styles. And we have taken that data from last year, and we have already given that challenge to our test takers this year. And I know that the high school faculty and department heads have been doing that as well, certainly across the
In
district.
what form did you give them the challenge, I guess? Just as a verbal?
Well, no, with the, we
or
showed
you
them the data. We showed them
Okay.
the data.
Okay, that's, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think we will continue to make sure that everyone approaches, you know, and certainly Ben can throw in his 2 cents, but I think a lot of times, well, MCAS or MCAS are not important. No one gets them to go to college with, and therefore, it's not that big of a deal, except if you want John and Abigail
You're
Adams
right.
scholarship
You're
money.
exactly right, in the individual
But
student's
at the end of the
performance. Right.
day, that's what represents the district. And that is why we stress it to our students, that it's important, because that's how we all get graded via our accountability status from the state. And so you raise a very, very good point, and I think this year's sophomores are certainly pretty well vested in trying to increase that bottom line. And so I look forward to it.
I guess to add to that is, some districts still compete against each other in an academic forum. Do they not, in Massachusetts? In Colorado, they had a televised channel where different districts, there would be 4 students from each district would come, and they would have academic challenges similar to a, you know, it's not a Jeopardy format, but similar to questions about, and the districts would literally compete against each other, and there were clubs that were academic clubs that would go represent the school. When I was an Oxford High student, I was a nerd, I was a geek, I was on the math club, and we would go to other schools and we would compete against them in math.
Our middle school
And we would
competes.
get into it and representing our school. So just, I don't know, just some ideas on how we could get academics to be part of our competitive nature like the sports are. And it might help, I don't know, it's just an idea.
The state does,
Go ahead, sir.
I'm sorry, the state does offer a lot of those opportunities, and we have had students do very well in statewide competitions. Certainly at the middle school, we have math teams that perform very well when they go up against other districts, and I know
We just
that
got,
that we
sorry.
do have that opportunity, and when
gotta
our
get the
students
whole school
compete.
behind them and all the other kids kind of
Absolutely.
saying, yeah, go nerds, go geeks, you're representing us. Right, Mr. Ivan? No. So, the standardized common tests, you mentioned that, you know, you're gonna
Common
go to
assessments.
common tests. I'm surprised we haven't done it, but then I stopped and answered, and maybe we shouldn't be surprised, because it's certainly in college is a thing of academic freedom, that you don't ever want to tell a college professor how to run their class or what kind of test they're going
Right.
to do. But I thought in high school or in the lower grades, it was already more standardized as far as what tests were given, and I guess not, and I guess maybe because it raises issues of academic security and then the timing of the instruction the students get, everybody has to be on the same page at the same time to be given that test. And then everybody's taking the same test, maybe
It's a
at
whole
different
pacing
periods.
guide.
So you've got that security issue of students, you know, do you have different versions of the test then, or, you know, it seems like a challenge.
We do not. Our common assessments assess the standards rather than the content. We use the content to teach the standards. The assessments assess the mastery of the standards. So it's not a recall test. That would be, you know, perhaps your chapter test or weekly quiz or whatever.
Okay.
Now we want to ensure that students master the standards and can apply it to another text, another novel, another, whatever.
So you can pull out the standards from within each individual type of concept test that each teacher gives?
We
Is
wouldn't
that
pull
what
them
you're
out of
saying?
those tests.
How do
Those
you-
would be their regular weekly tests. We give quarterly common assessments that assess the understanding of the standard. So it would be a novel or a piece of literature that a child has never seen, and that's what they would be
And
given.
do they all take it at the same time?
Yeah, approximately the same
Altogether,
time.
roughly? Okay.
The
That's
same,
different than
the
what I
same
was
week, not the, maybe not the
I-
same day, not the same
I
period.
apologize, and I was under the impression that, like, there's a chemistry test coming up, and every chemistry instructor's, they're gonna use the exact same test.
They may,
Okay,
don't
may,
have to.
But you don't know, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
they don't have to.
And I guess it's maybe hard to answer this. This is my last question, I promise.
That's all right, take your time.
I've got a lot to
Keep
learn.
it going, you're answering my question.
The learning walks, I get, anybody want to be honest? How are they being received by the teachers? The teachers are pretty crunched with time, and now we're asking them to take more time out of their day to actually go in and sit in someone else's classroom. I know in college, it works great. We are constantly talking to each other about things we've tried and things we're doing and all that. And I'm sure the teachers are, for the most part, on their own anyways, I would
They're-
imagine,
they're
just in the
observing.
hallways or after school and stuff.
They're
But I mean,
observing the
how the
practice.
I guess my question is, how have the learning walks been received, if you can even answer that question? It's hard to tell.
There's been no complaints.
Okay.
They're very valuable for the teachers who are the walkers, because they're going in to see how other people are doing things, how lessons are being delivered. They're comparing the strategies, they're
Right.
comparing the whole delivery process. They're getting ideas.
Right.
That data is all collected after they visit 4 or 5 classrooms, and then it's delivered to the whole teaching staff, perhaps at a faculty meeting or department meeting. It's delivered to everybody. Here's what the learning walk showed. We're doing this, this, and this very well. We need to work on this and this.
I think they're great ideas. I was just wondering if it's gonna be too much sometimes. I don't know, and that's all I was wondering. But it's a great idea. I hope it works.
Mr. Himmelberger?
It has been embraced by many teachers. I think part of the comfort of it is it's not targeting a specific classroom style, but it's giving the effectiveness within the school. So it's not an invasive or.
You're not
or
evaluating.
You're not evaluating a particular teacher, but this is what we see in our school. And these are things that are strong, these are things that we need to work on. And I think that, as teachers, and part of it is what you say, that we have, as you can see, Mrs. Daly has been busy this year. And we have so many things going on.
A lot of stuff.
Both within the classroom and outside the classroom, that we have, it becomes a time constraint, and oh, by the way, make sure we find time to teach, because we
Right.
have so many things going on, so
That's-
many
I guess
initiatives.
that's what I was getting
so
to.
much that has come down from the state and the federal government that we have to work on. And it's a lot for in any profession to absorb and try and schedule all of this to really improve at such a dynamic pace, and to meet targets and to try and assimilate all of this information. It's really, it's hard work, and we are working hard at it.
And don't misconstrue my questions. I'm just really gathering data for an understanding on my part. I certainly can see the level of effort that's involved here, and it's great. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Mrs. Ravelli?
All set.
Okay. I do have a question. Explain to me how, when a coach goes out to a training, when they come back, how do they share their materials, and how do they work with the teachers to now show them what they have learned to bring it back to the district.
Department meetings or grade level meetings.
Do they do anything one-on-one?
Sometimes,
They do, okay.
sometimes. If a teacher requests it, they might say, gee, you know, I'm trying to do this. It doesn't seem to be working as well in my room as it does in yours. Would you mind if I came into your class on, you know, such and such a period? The next time you do that, would you mind if I watched? And they do, and just like children, sometimes adults learn better by seeing than by actually reading it or learn, you know.
And when
So-
our coaches go out, what kind of material are they, when they leave us to go to these trainings, what kind of materials do they have with them? Are they already given materials to review? I mean, that's what I'm.
No,
my
they're given the
question.
materials when they arrive.
When they get there?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay. So they don't have they can review and look and see what's
If it's a second coaching session,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they'll have to go back to their school and try and gather some samples of work, and then they bring that to their meeting, and that's what's discussed or shared.
Okay.
And then they pick up ideas from other districts who are also sharing.
How often do we do this coaching?
It's a two-day training. So they went to the actual training provided by Keys to Literacy. A few different times, we've sent a couple of teachers at a time, and then they come back to the buildings. But it's a two-day training.
And
But
how
they-
many teachers have participated?
I think there are at least two in each building.
Is that enough?
7.
Where did you see that? Because I was looking for a number.
It is, it's on like page 2.
Yeah, I don't, right here.
I was looking for a number, I didn't see it.
Next page, the page you were on, dear. Right, is that what you're talking about?
Building teachers, oh, okay, I didn't even see that, all right. Is that enough?
It's,
It doesn't look like enough to me.
You could say yes or no.
I think you should say no, 'cause I
I
don't
should
think it's
say
enough.
no.
To me, it doesn't
I
look like enough.
should say no. In a perfect world, we would have one coach in each department or in each subject or grade level.
Each subject
And is
or
it the-
grade level, so if we even
So
say
in the high
grade
school,
level-
we would have somebody in science, someone in math, someone in social studies.
Is it the grant
That's what paid
the
for it.
fund? Okay, so is it that there was not enough grant money to do that, to provide that?
We're building slowly on that.
How much is the grant?
This year, it's about $13,000.
Is it shared with anyone?
No, we collaborated with the Webster Public Schools, but they had their grant and we had our grant.
Okay. All right. Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. And now we will hear from Mrs. Susan, our special ed director. You don't have a report? Did I not get it?
Student services.
Ah, didn't see it.
Brief, to the point.
Didn't see it.
Thank you. Saving paper, trees.
Well, you
Go
know,
ahead. Good evening.
good evening. You know, our world in student services is all about compliance with the State Department. That's our big thing. And they come in and they give us, I call it an audit, they like to call it a coordinated program review. They come in, I cannot tell you how many times every year they come in for a wide variety of reasons. When we have our mid-cycle next year, it will be my 38th, either mid-cycle or full coordinated program review in my career. They come in a lot. So our life is about having them come in, having them tell us what we do right and what we need to improve on, then writing a corrective action plan to take care of the issues that we haven't been doing too well, doing progress reports that takes up another year, and then they come back the following year. They'll be back again next spring. They were here in the spring of 2012. And when they come out, they look at a variety of things. They look at special education, they look at Title I, they look at civil rights, and they look at English language learners. So I spoke with you last winter, I believe, at some point in time, when I wrote the corrective action plan. That was one of the first things I had to do. I believe that Mr. Trahan handed me my iPad the night that I came in to meet all of you for the first time and said, here's the coordinated review report. Now you have to go write your corrective action plan. And there were several things that we had to deal with. One of the biggest ones, I think, was getting Project Coffee up and running and certified by the State Department and approved as a separate public day school. That was a very long process. It took 4 of us, Mr. Caniglioli, Mr. Trahan, very lucky to have Mrs. Whiting to help us, who is a master at the keyboard and a master at all things having to do with charts, et cetera. And it took us pretty much the entire year. We started working on it in November of last year, and it was finally approved in November of this past year. It's a massive undertaking, a binder this big, of protocols and regulations, and in fact, at the end of every year, there are things that we will have to do to keep that up to date. It's a very, very important piece for us. One of the things that it does is allows us to have a different reporting in our SIMS report, which may in fact help us with our issue of the level 3.
Right.
So we're very, very hopeful that this is going to be a big piece for us. And it really does set into place and legitimize something that Oxford has had for as long as I've been in the state of Massachusetts. It was one of the reasons I wanted to come here. Project Coffee is a very unique place. It's a very unique opportunity for students. Very few communities have something like this. So it legitimizes it and makes it a real thing and makes it part of us. So it's a really, really, really good thing.
Pardon me, excuse, can you explain a little bit more, though, right now, if you don't mind, how that's going to change things for us as far as reporting?
It's a different way of reporting the students who come there. You know that we have a group home here in town. We have Oxford House. And because they are here within the town, I am programmatically responsible. I am the educational and administrator for Project Coffee. So I am programmatically responsible for where those students attend school. The district that they originally came from, or where they most recently lived, is fiscally responsible. So I'm basically the person who sits there and says they belong here or they belong there. The other piece that we have going on for us is that we take students in under tuition from other school districts who come to us. And so the issue is, how are their scores reported? Are they reported as Oxford High School? Are they reported as Project Coffee? Are they reported as the scores for Ascending District? So those are all those pieces, and it's a very odd and gray area because we have a group home here in town. The regulations are very different for group homes than they are for, say, if we had a regular private special education school in town. So it's a very strange and unusual thing, and who gets to decide if they want to be programmatic or if they don't want to be programmatic. A town that has a student here can choose. They have to write a letter to me and to the State Department to say, we want to be programmatically responsible for our student. So there's a lot of different dances and nuances that go into this. And it was very, very important for us to have a code. You know, we talk about that SIMS report, the report we do in October, and then in March, and then again at the end of the year. And how we report our students, there are varieties of codes, and how we report them makes a difference as to where their scores lie. We were in a quandary because coffee wasn't settled as one thing or another. So now that it has been, it makes all the reporting and everything else much easier and much cleaner. So we hope that that will really help us, and those students, you know, some of them are middle school students, some of them are high school students, some of them belong to another town. So it's all about how they're reported, and we're hoping that we're going to get real clear scores and real clear reporting this time. Fingers crossed. But it was a long process, and it was hard for the state to determine exactly how to do this. So, as I said, it was a year-long, very difficult process. So that, to me, is, I think, really the biggest piece from the special ed side of the coordinated program review, as well as the civil rights, because the two of them often come together, and in this one, they danced hand in hand, because we have special ed students, and we have students on 504s, and we have students who are regular education students. So it's kind of a mixed bag of pieces that have to come together. Another big piece for us that was part of the problem in the coordinated review was that staff was reporting, parents were reporting, that teachers and administrators were not always seeing either IEPs or 504 plans. And we have, thank goodness, a system that I've used for probably close to 20 years called SEMS Tracker, that is an online, it lives in the cloud, so it's very secure. And it is one of the most secure systems that anybody has ever created. And through that, we can run IEPs, we can run 504s. We're now doing home hospital plans. Title I is in there now. ELL is in there. As we get into some of our other things, we'll have plans for our students in there. And so it's a very secure system. And because of that, our staff, all of the staff here, have access under FERPA regulations to the students for whom they should have access. Every time there's an update, they get a notification. It goes right through the Oxford Public School email, and it tells them that you have a new message and tracker. Read it. When they pop up, when they go in and they access their particular tracker mail, they will see on the front page a big white dialog box, and it tells them what's going on. So they know immediately, as soon as they open up their email, that they have a new IEP, or they have a new 504, or something has changed, you need to do this, you need to look at that, whatever. For a couple of the buildings, because we've had a lot of new staff come in September, within the first couple of weeks, Mr. Trahan and I did kind of a traveling show and did trainings for staff on both iPass and Tracker. And then I do what I call house calls. So Tracker is totally, the responsibility for all of that is totally mine. Security settings and all of that are mine. So when someone calls and says, or sends me an email, I'm having trouble, I go over and do a house call and walk them through it to make sure that they have access. The other piece of this is that I can do an internal review, which I'm mandated to do by the state. It's normally what I do on snow days. And I sit and I go through an audit trail so that I can make sure that progress reports were sent home on time. I know whose progress reports were done, whose weren't, all of that sort of thing. So it really makes sure that we're doing what we're supposed to do. It's a lot to manage, the number of progress reports and 504s and plans that go in and out. It manages our consent forms, it manages everything. So we really are very consistent. We're opening it up more and more, using it more and more, and people are responding very well to the use of it, so.
So then your, if you don't mind, so then your regular, this is the way I understand what you're saying. Your classroom teachers, if they have a student in their classroom on an IEP, they have access to just that student's IEP, so they know what accommodations are to be made. So there's no excuses, basically. Everybody knows what, and if, and that's
Everything
it.
they need to know is in there. Meeting information, everything they need to know. If a student has had an evaluation, all the evaluations have been attached. When we get a new student in, their IEP is scanned. There's a place, we have an actual scanning file that we have a copier that attaches to that, and it goes right in so that it's attached right to the student's record. So you can go back and see evaluations, several rounds of evaluations. You can see all of that.
So a
So the person who
student,
needs
a
to
new
see it.
student comes into the system, that has to be all brought in anyway when they sign up, so that's scanned in, so
Scan it
that,
right
that
through.
teacher would have a ding, you have mail there, you can
It's
go
right
and,
there.
and get into SEMS, and you have your new student that's sitting in front of you, you have all their paperwork.
It's right there.
It's a wonderful thing. Good, Thursday is gonna be a good day for you to catch up on that.
I did a
think
lot of
reminder
that
number
last
Just
week.
make the call now, I mean.
That last Wednesday.
Reminder number 2. That is, it's fabulous to see the program that is fairly costly to run being used to the extent that you're using it.
And it will be used even more, believe me.
I
Yeah.
don't doubt this. I
Yep.
don't doubt this.
So we'll be able to create intervention plans and all sorts of things in there as we get other things going here in the district, so it's very good. Another piece that the State Department was not happy about was program evaluation. And it's the responsibility of the director to annually evaluate every out-of-district program that a student attends, and also to do a regular cycle of evaluations of programs within the district. That's particularly important because our students change every year. And unfortunately, in school systems, we blink, and all of a sudden, 3 or 4 years have gone by. And we might still be running a program today that was very good for us. It met our needs, or met the needs of those students 3 or 4 years ago, but no longer meets the needs of the students today. So one of the reasons the state builds this in, and it's one of my favorite things to do, is to review programs constantly. And I start in October, and look at them all year round, work with principals about students' needs, so that we're tailoring a program to meet the needs of the students, not the other way around. And it really plays a big piece in the budget and all the other things. So that's been a really big focus of mine, and it's an ongoing cycle. I had to give them a cycle of which programs I would look at each year and so on, and then I have to have reports for them at the end of the year. But we are, as of the end of November, when the last progress report had to go through, we are now in 100% compliance in the area of special education and in civil rights. So 100% compliance. Now, they'll be back in again next year, and I always refer to it as a bunch of helium-filled balloons, and you think you can let it go a little bit, and then they start to go, and you gotta grab them and pull them back down. That's always the way it is. But we're in really good shape right now, so I'm really pleased with where we are. And we're moving forward in a whole lot of really good directions, which I think we'll talk about in the next month or so. So that's it as far as the special education piece is concerned. Title I, which I took over from Mrs. Daly, who had it in really great shape. So she handed me something that was in real good condition when I started in July with that. We serve a lot of students. I think our Title I staff do a masterful job of serving large numbers of students. We do morning math before school. We had a summer camp, which we will have again this year. We have teachers doing math and ELA in both Chaffey and Barton, and we provide math at the middle school. I'd like to look at that structure. I'd like to have ELA in the middle school next year, but it's totally by funding, and it's totally by whatever the State Department gives us. And for as long as I can remember, at least the last 10 years, pretty much the amount that's funded goes down every year. So it's one of those battles that we fight. Because that's the one grant where it's staff intensive, that's what it's for. But we've been able to do quite a few really good initiatives this year. Ms. Barone spoke about Fontes and Pinnell earlier, and it's been a particular initiative of Mr. Yvonne's and mine as well, and Mrs. Daly's. So we've trained our special ed teachers, our Title I teachers, and our literacy teachers at both Chaffey and Barton. They spent 3 full days with me from the summer and into the fall, and then again just recently on this program, and they're working on launching that. So Title I funding has paid for some of the training for that, and for materials. It's a very expensive program, so they paid for a lot of the materials for that. So we really do use our grant to the fullest extent. We don't waste a penny of it, we spend every bit of it. So that's Title I, and we'll continue to do the best we can with the money that we're given. English language learners is probably the biggest challenge going on right now. And it's interesting for us because we're a low incidence district. Many districts are low incidence. You have to be a place like Worcester or Lynn or Somerville or Boston or Springfield to be a really high incidence. And it's a challenge because our students come and go frequently. They're very mobile. And it's a challenge because we are so small that it's difficult to put together cohorts. And the State Department has a regulation about cohorting our students. And it's about where they are in their ability to speak, read, listen, and write in English, as well as their grade levels. And we have to work with them together. And the state requires a pull-out model. So part of their day has to be pull-out. A student who is beginning in English requires 12 and a half hours a week of pull-out services by a certified English as a second language teacher. And believe me, Maria and I struggle with this on a daily, as do most districts. They also are required to have instruction during the day by teachers who have become certified or qualified as immersion teachers, so children immersion. So that also is very difficult, and the state is in the middle of this whole new switch. They've given us new standards. We have to write new curriculum to match the new standards, and it has to be aligned to the Common Core. It has to be aligned to our mapping. This has to be done by September, so that's another struggle. Across every proficiency level, there are 6, and across every subject area in every grade. So that's a huge struggle that many, many districts are dealing with. We have it aligned to the ELBO standards. Now we have to go back to the newest standards and realign that. So that's a big struggle. Having teachers qualified in the areas that they need to be when the state has gone to something new, which is the retail, and gotten rid of the old piece. So my friend Mr. Yvonne is helping me with that one as we try to figure out how to cover what we need to cover within our district. What do we have that we can reuse, and what do we have to do next? So the ELL piece is a very large struggle for us, and we're going to be working really hard. It's not just us, however, there are a lot of other districts, and we have a professional learning community of ELL directors working to try to figure all this out together. We thought multiple heads would be better than each of us doing it individually. So that's where we are with those departments, those various pieces underneath my department.
Very good, thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions or comment?
I guess I'm going first, as usual.
I kind of went as we went here.
That's okay.
so-
You can go after me, too.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm just curious, off the top of your head, how many students, I don't know if you have it per school or the total district,
I can tell
are
you
on
district-wide. I
IEPs
can tell
and
you
504s?
district-wise.
What percentage-wise?
District-wide, we
Just
run
curious.
anywhere, and it changes every single day. You need to know that every day, our
does.
numbers change.
Does,
So depending on who's going on, who's going off, our team chairs do anywhere between 1 meeting and 6 meetings a day on any given day of the week. Sometimes they come in a rush. When we have a snow day, that causes us all kinds of difficulty. Stop
So,
that.
on average, what percentage? of
We
the
have,
population-
we have just anywhere between 285 and 296 students on a daily basis,
Out of,
out of close to 2,000,
1950.
1950.
But do the math, 10%,
10%.
It's about 15, 16%.
About 15%.
15%. Is that average? I'm taking his time, I know. Average, high, low?
Why don't you
Needs?
just, why don't we hold up and
We
let him-
have a large number of students with high needs. We have a large number of students who have significant multiple disabilities. We have some long-standing programs in this district for students with physical impairments. Multiply handicapped was one of the terms we used to use. So we have students who require a lot of physical assistance, that are nonverbal, have a lot of other needs, a lot of medically fragile needs. We have a long-standing, wonderful program. And so we do tuition students in from other districts when they have only 1 or 2 students and it's not feasible for them to create a program. Some collaboratives have a program like that, ours does not. And so we tend to have other students from area schools. So that's a larger population than one would normally anticipate having in a school district of this size. I'm used to a school district with 1.5 to 2 times as many students in general, not to mention students on IEPs. And this is a much larger number of students with that type of disability than I've had in many, many years. 504s were running, I was on yesterday, I want to say 72, 73 in the district. We've got a couple pending. But again, I can tell just by looking at Tracker because it tells me right on the bottom of whichever program I'm in. So every day I can go in and see that it's gone up or down. And those are usually for health issues. If a student needs a medical plan, we put them on a 504 as well. But I don't think that that's right now above average. I think we're in pretty stable shape.
I guess my last question is, Project Coffee reports to you? How does that work?
I'm the educational administrator, so that means it's my responsibility to make sure that the education that the students are receiving at Project Coffee is the Common Core, the education that every other student in Oxford is receiving.
Okay.
To make sure that their
Even though they've now
IEPs,
changed to this separate day school, you're still the,
I am still the educational administrator.
thank you.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Ravelli?
I would just like to say congratulations to Project Coffee, because I can remember stopping in almost, every Friday and seeing you pulling out your hair with a book this big.
It just got bigger and bigger, didn't it?
Yes, it did, with I could not even believe the sheer number of policies that you had to write. So
It's a
congratulations.
huge joint effort.
That was a big one. That was a big one to you and your team. And the program review, I think you'll do fine this year. You'll do fine this
We
year.
hope,
Yeah, you will.
we hope. You know, there's
But
just,
congratulations, that was a big, that was a major hurdle. So, and thank you. And that's it.
Thank you. For Mr. Matthew, if you could just provide for us at our next meeting, when is it, the 24th? If we could just see a Title I grant funding, the fluctuation that we've received for the past 5 years?
Sure.
Do that for us, I'd appreciate that. And Mrs. Susan, just how many, real quick, how many English language learners do we have in the district right now?
11. That officially receives, that require services. There's also, we also have students who, it used to be called FLEPing, called formerly Limited English Proficient. Now they call it FEL. They just changed that on us, and we didn't know it, but it's formerly English Language Learners now. So students who have reached a certain level between the various testings that we do that are required by the state and other things that we have here, we can make a determination if they still require services and what level of proficiency they are. So we monitor those students for 2 years. So right now, we have 4 of those
Okay.
students. But they do come in and go out, so we have them, you know, we've lost 6 within the last few months.
Okay. And just one other question, we have now on staff a social worker,
Yes,
and I'm curious as to how that is going.
it's going
What
pretty
has
well.
it done for the district?
Well, I think you've heard from Mr. Barone, and we're doing a lot of work. She's doing a lot of work, a liaisoning between DCF,
Okay.
helping out with those issues, because there are a lot of our students who have that type of involvement. Working individually with families to help them navigate those type of systems. A lot of families have needs that stretch beyond the needs of the student actually in school. So she does liaison between the school, the family, outside counselors, outside agencies. We have students who are unfortunately having to go out for hospitalizations. That's a big piece of what she deals with as well. And just helping people navigate.
Okay.
Also working, we have a lot of students who are homeless, and she does a lot of work with those as well, and helping to set them up and get them supports and resources in the community.
Good.
So I think, I know that Mr. Himmelberger's vision, when the first time he and I spoke, was that we needed somebody to help liaison between these families and the school. It goes beyond the scope of what our guidance counselors can do in their day.
Right.
And I believe that that role is being filled. I'm not sure that it's only going to take one, but for right now, that's where we are.
I just think that that is important, that families at home understand this is not just about kids getting to school.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of layers to that, and a social worker has been needed, I think, since I've been on this board, so for 11 years we've waited, and I'm glad she's finally here. so.
And I think that outside piece is really crucial. To be able to help families on the other side of this
Yeah.
is a really crucial piece.
There's so
We're
much
kind of defining
information,
it as
yeah.
we go, but,
And she's going into the homes, and she's visiting, and
yeah,
good,
visiting
that's
and-
good.
I'm
I'm
dealing
glad
with
to hear that.
attendance pieces and all of those things.
Yeah, that's
So.
good, though. All right, thank you very much for
Absolutely.
everything, we appreciate that. Next, we have our student representative, Mr. Benjamin Murray.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
First, I would like to read a bit of a summary from our Naval Junior ROTC unit, who recently had a drill league competition at Central Springfield High School. Oxford earned 8 trophy finishes in all 8 meet events that they entered, including 2 first-place finishes in unarmed color guard and armed inspection, along with 3 second and 3 third-place finishes, along with some individual awards. Following those meet awards, the league officials presented annual awards to the 9 schools composing the league. Oxford Pirate teams earned top honors in armed and unarmed color guard and armed inspection events as the best school of the league, with first place overall for the entire season, along with 5 additional best school of the league season awards for second and third place in single events. All of this together led Oxford to become the best school of the league season overall in each of the 8 events they routinely compete in. Finally, Oxford was named the 2013 to 2014 first placed best school of the league season champion in the armed division and second place in the unarmed division. Overall, they returned home with 18 trophy awards in 18 categories and 3 best school of the season championship titles. So that's a big congratulations to our unit, and hopefully they keep up the good work through the next few years. And moving into more general school business, this week we are having a Spirit Week, beginning today with Pajama Day. I thought it would be best to change out of my pajamas before coming here, though.
Thank you.
We, along with our usual Spirit Week before homecoming, we have this one to alleviate the third quarter cabin fever when students can't get outside and need a release of energy. And that's going to culminate in our own Winter Olympics themed Winter Carnival this year, which is kind of like a pep rally with competitions between the homerooms within the school. That's going to be this Friday the 14th, just before vacation. And then finally, our Naval Junior ROTC unit is hosting their annual military ball on the 16th at, I believe, the Wachusett Country Club.
Very good. Thank you, sir, very much. If you need to get home and study, you can go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Ben. From our superintendent, please.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Ennis. First of all, a welcome to a very talented individual in Rob Rassicott, who is finishing out the term, and we look forward to your interacting with us.
Say that.
I wanted to address a couple of things quickly, one being snow calls, as the weather pattern continues to give us more opportunity for that. I only caution that for every day we miss in the winter, it doesn't go away. We get to go in June. So I don't want folks to lose sight of that. The other concern I know that some people do have is when I make the call. And if folks remember the first Friday of 2014, January 3rd, we did make that call the day before for several factors. Certainly the fact that we had been out for 2 weeks, and it was a pretty sure thing after that Thursday. So we did make the call. However, last Wednesday was not as cut and dried, even though, if you believe every weather forecaster, it was. But I do remember my very first year as superintendent, February 10th of 2010. We called school the night before, along with the rest of central and eastern Massachusetts, and we woke up to nary a snowflake anywhere. And all of the weather forecasters, who still got paid, by the way, for that week, had egg on their faces. So it is something that we do not take lightly as part of our superintendent responsibilities. However, it is preferable to wait until the morning, and I know that means intruding on a morning where some people might have other things to do, but it is by far the best way to make the call. I think that the calls that have been made have been the right ones. We get tremendous support and information from our DPW, which is, once again, has done an outstanding job. And their information and cooperation makes the job of calling school much easier. We take many factors into consideration when we do make a snow call, whether it's a 2-hour delay to start, or if we call for the whole day. It's certainly not preferable to do an early release because of the disruption and the safety issue around doing that. But I wanted to give folks that follow-up, because I know there was some concern that I didn't call school last Tuesday evening, as Wednesday appeared to be a snow day. But it's always safest to wait until the morning to make those calls. As you have heard, we welcome Mrs. Parmalee to Chafee. I think that mid-year personnel changes, certainly at the administrative level, are challenging for everybody. And I wanted to thank Mr. Yvonne for his amazing capacity to hand over the reins in such a seamless way at Chafee, as well as to deal with one of our most challenging technical issues that we've had in quite some time when he became the tech director, and have mastered all of that. Mrs. Parmalee, as you will find, is dedicated to excellence, and we look forward to her outstanding work and experience that she brings to us as a mentor, as a trainer, as an instructional leader, and I think that parents and students will only have wonderful things to say. As you can see from the reports, both at the last meeting and this meeting, we have a dedicated team that is really specialists in what they do. I could not be a special ed student services director. Principals would never be able to manage a district's finances. We have such specialists that do an incredible amount of work, as witnessed by the fact that we're never out. We're here every day. And I wanted to say thank you very much to the folks that are here tonight, as well as our administrators that were here at the last meeting, for a tremendous amount of work that we are doing this year. And we hope that we reap the benefits from it with our accountability status and all of the data that comes our way in August. But we do have much to be proud of in terms of how we are working and what we're putting in place. And we've gotten, as Mrs. Daly pointed out, tremendous cooperation from the teachers to really make things better, improve our instruction, to adhere to all of the regulations, and we look forward to those positive changes. Just as we go forward, I will give the district improvement plan update on the 24th, and on March 10th, we will present the FY15 budget, and that is the same meeting that we presented last year, and all of the administrators will be here on that March 10th, and I invite the public and parents, voters, taxpayers to, if they can't make it here that evening, to please watch on TV. And we will certainly, Mr. Matthew and I will welcome the questions and the scrutiny of how we spend taxpayer dollars in this town. I think that this town is very financially well run, and I have said that before. I think that our departments work well together, and we know that it is one pie that everybody has to share. And taxpayers deserve nothing less than that accountability and that transparency and that efficient use of dollars. And that is one thing that we continue to strive for. And I look forward to that presentation on March 10th, and I hope that we can get support for folks to watch that and ask the questions and understand it, so that when we go to town meeting the first Wednesday in May, that folks understand all of the components and how that impacts what we do every day to provide the best education for every student, whether they are ELL or National Merit, whether they have many needs around special education or are Project Coffee students, and or if they're going to be some of those rare students that will take 5 or 6 of our AP courses next year. We provide the very best we can for every single student in this town, and we continue to work to improve that, which is why this budget presentation and this time of year is important for everyone to learn what it is all about and what we are trying to do, so that we get the support at town meeting. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Mr. Escott?
Questions for the super.
Did you want to pass? Do you have
Well,
anything else?
this is a time where you can, if you have any information you'd like to ask for, or if you have any comments or questions.
I think that should wait for our, if hopefully we have a meeting for his evaluation in the future.
Very good, thank you. Mrs. Ravelli?
Just a welcome to Mr. Rassicot and Ms. Parmalee. Good luck. And to Mr. Rassicot's last comment, the rescheduling of the superintendent eval meeting that for some reason keeps on being scheduled when there's snow. So I guess we shouldn't schedule it for Thursday.
No. No, why, is it gonna snow Thursday?
Yeah, I think so.
Just call it now, Mr.
Depends who you
Hamburger.
listen to. No, you did not hear, I'm gonna call it Thursday morning if it is in fact necessary.
So just the rescheduling.
I don't know
And-
yet, I
and-
have to,
okay.
talk to everybody.
All righty. That was it.
Okay. Let's see here. I did receive a thank you note from our Oxford High Student Council for the funding that they received from the school committee and our budget for their trip to the Cape. And they were very thankful, and they appreciated our thoughtfulness with that. Also, post-budget presentation, I will be putting out a date for another forum that we will have, I hope, probably maybe in the cafeteria, since the turnout was so significant when we had it in this room, so we have enough room. I'm looking at an April date. I need to check on a couple things for that, but as soon as I have the date, I will let everybody know, and we can post that. And I think that is all I have for this evening. I'll open the floor, and I will close it. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
3 affirmative, 2 absent. We are now adjourned. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it very much.